Howdy all, Accelerator, the Wonder from Down Under, back with you with a version 3, episode 3 video. And as you can see in this episode, I have decided that, you know what, it's time to learn how to skin. So I asked my friend Mr. SlateX Tyler of SlateX Tyler's Gaming Network, how the hell do I skin? So he decided to teach me, and here we are with a very awesome skin, if I must say so myself, of my own country and state's highway patrol. So say hello to Victoria Police's Holden SS Commodore with an awesome livery, if I must say so. Also in the video, guys, you will notice that I have some unmarked Holden Commodore SS, which I've set it up so that it's randomly spawn different colours. We've got red, white, blue and green from memory. But this particular version of the semi-marked Holden Commodore sedan, you will notice is always going to be the same colour, which is the dark. I think it seems to suit it quite well. However, in some future videos I may look at changing the colour and seeing what sort of feedback I get from you. But I've decided that, you know what, sick of going out and just copying everyone else type of thing. I'm going to make my own series based on my own country. So the next steps will be trying to get an Australian or even a Victorian police uniform. The current uniform, as you can see in the video here, it's just the standard GTA uniform. So if I can get myself a Victorian police one, I'll be much happier. So, a little bit about the car. The car, I will have to confirm the actual developer of the car, but I believe his name's SNIT, who I understand is also from Australia. I'm not 100% sure exactly where, but his location, according to the GTA forums, is that he's from Australia. So I would like to thank him very much for these awesome models, and I will certainly think about putting my skin up for a download. I'm not 100% sure what I need to do in terms of approval and stuff for that one as yet, but this is just for my own personal in-game use at the moment. Some other models of cars I'm looking at using in the near future will be a Holden Commodore SS Wagon, if I can. SNIT, if you do happen to be watching the video or happen to check in on what's going on with my actions, if I could put a request in for a wagon, that would be awesome. Not quite sure how hard it is, but look, certainly the request for it is out there for you. At this point in the video, I'm just following one of my unmarked units. He went past me with lights and sirens, and I thought I'd quickly follow him, find out what was going on. And it turns out that it was nothing. He ends up pulling into the centre of the freeway and doing nothing about it. But I thought, you know what, I might just follow him and find out what's going on. And you can also see there's a vacant ambulance. That's also going to be a future modification, guys. I will be looking for a Victorian ambulance skin, if possible, and model, of course. And then obviously eventually I'll do the same thing for my fire brigade as well. But at this point, my main focus is just on trying to get these police cars looking fantastic. And if I must say so again, I definitely like the job I've done. It was a very easy and basic skin to create, but for my first ever creation, I'm very happy with the results. As we find a bit of a weirdo driving. I don't drive like that down under. Well, some do. But yeah, look, the model car, the light location, the flash modes, everything, it's so similar to reality, and I'm really, really happy with the model. So again, SNIT, really, really well done. Good job with it. You've made another Aussie very happy.
What the fuck are you doing?
So there's not going to be a whole lot in this particular episode. It is going to be a short episode. I think it's just under, God, I think it's just under 17-18 minutes from memory. But what you will notice in the video after I pull this vehicle over for doing his weird driving and some backup what I thought was backup comes by, happens to take off, and another one. So there goes 2 red and 1, I won't say white, we might go with an off-white colour. Drives off. But as I was saying, I've decided to trial the BaitCar mod. So for anyone who is familiar with it, you can give me a bit of feedback on my use of it. This particular video, it's actually the second time I've used the mod, so please excuse me if I happen to use it incorrectly. And for those of you who are not familiar with the BaitCar mod, I'll put the link to the download, or the location of the download, in my description. But it's basically just a case of setting up a vehicle somewhere on the streets or in a back alley or wherever you want to place it, where you can set it so that just a random crook happens to come and steal the car. You've got full controls of the vehicle, turning the hazard lights on and off, shutting the vehicle down, spawning new vehicles, all that sort of stuff. So I do happen to do 2 BaitCar tests within this video, which you'll see very shortly. In fact, it's coming up pretty much now. I'm not quite sure if you can change the model of the car, but it spawns the Sultan every time that I've used it so far. So you activate it simply by going into your, I don't know what you want to call it, the control panel, by pushing that key that's next to the number 1 on your keyboard. Not the one with your numpad, but the one along the top of the keyboard. You simply choose to spawn the vehicle, and then you go and place it wherever you want to place it. So I decide that, look, here's a nice little location. I park myself in a back alley, which, look, obviously I know where I am and I know that I'm probably seen, but the mod still works either way. So once I've gone back to my car, we bring up the console again for the BaitCar controls. We set it to active, or we activate it, and you'll notice on the mini-map a red square appears, which is basically the crook deciding to approach the vehicle, as you'll sort of see in the distance as well. He jumps in the vehicle, so the next thing you want to do is make sure you lock the doors after he starts driving, which I do here. And then I let him go a little bit before I decide to do anything about it. And then we simply push the shutdown button. So the shutdown will stop the car. Basically, it depowers the ignition. And as you can see in the top left, you can actually tell where the vehicle is by the street that it's currently on and what speed it's doing. So after I pushed this shutdown mode, you would have noticed the speed slowly decreasing. Now this is a bit of an interesting part here, guys, because my main focus was on testing the mod. I wasn't sort of too focused on my controls and what the guys and that were doing, but I pull him out of the vehicle here. I don't turn around soon enough, but he actually attempts to pull a gun. I quickly happen to turn around and he gets hit by a car. And then next minute, I attempt to arrest him. He pulls out another gun, so I shoot him. And then a second crook comes out with another gun. So I duck behind the car, and the guy in that blue four-wheel drive also decides he wants to shoot at me. The bastards. So I call him for some backup, reinforcements, take out crooks. I end up calling in a paramedic here to assist with the downed patients as well. And I end up actually being able to arrest him. But I actually thought there might have been another crook behind the bus, because you would have seen the shotgun blast. But I think it was actually his gun hitting the floor. Or hitting the road, I should say, the pavement. So I went over just to double check. This guy got back up, tried to arrest him, didn't want to function. So I decided to head over, give CPR to my original offender. And yeah, we end up being able to get that one taken care of. As my backup arrives and hits a nice looking car there. But also, while we're waiting for this one to finish up here, guys, as I do manage to arrest this crook, if you haven't got any feedback for my skin that I've created, or the way I've decided to just quickly run, or test run my Australian version series of the mod, then it'd be much appreciated if you can give me some comments and feedback about it. I do appreciate everyone's subscriptions and the amount of views that you've had of my existing videos. It's very much appreciated and would love you to keep it up. It certainly inspires me to keep doing some more. As we decide to take this crook back to station. But yeah, again, I do appreciate your feedback, your subscriptions and your views of the videos, so certainly keep going. If anyone does happen to know where I may be able to download or obtain a copy of the Australian ambulances and fire trucks, it would be greatly appreciated, because I would like to incorporate those into my mod. Even if they're not Victorian at this stage, I'm happy to probably chuck them in there, but the Victorian ambulance and Victorian fire brigades would be a bit better, being that that's what I want to try and base the series on. So, plus obviously, as I said, it's the state of where I'm from. So what I decide here is I might try and locate my vehicle somewhere else. So I actually parked this one out of the way, and I'm going to spawn an unmarked version. Doesn't matter which one I happen to spawn because they all look bloody awesome. But this BaitCar mod's definitely a nice little touch to the game. It's a lot of fun, good to muck around with. Nice clean SS Commodore. Brilliant cars in real life too. I have to admit I am slightly biased. I do own a Holden SS myself. I own a special edition, which is the Pontiac front version. But I've always been a Holden fanatic all my life. Always have been and probably always will be. So we spawn our next BaitCar here, and I go and park that in the same location, thinking that he's actually going to turn into this street again. And I thought, oh, you know what, I'll be able to pull him over and quickly do a U-turn and grab him. But as you'll see, a bit of excitement comes. So we park her there, run back to my squad car. Thank God it's still there and hasn't been stolen. And again, we bring up the console. We activate our BaitCar mod and wait for a crook. Now, if you have a look at my mini radar now, you'll see a little blip appear, but then it quickly disappears. There it goes. So, not quite sure why that is, just maybe a minor little hiccup with the mod. But if we click it again, as I've seen you do just there, we'll notice in just a couple of short moments, we'll have another potential car thief approaching, jumps in the car. As you can tell by the speed, he starts driving off, so I lock the vehicle, attempt a shutdown mode, which is also successful, and you'll see the speed there decreasing. So off we go to catch our bad guy. So we do a nice little skid out of the corner. There he is, parked nice and calmly off the road. And I thought that was going to be some nice backup there, but he decided to keep going. So at this point here I miss-aim and he actually drives off. So we start a pursuit. I attempt to get some more backup, as backup happens to drive past me instead of following me. Bit of a weird glitch there as well. I've noticed that I had a couple of cars decide to just be sitting somewhere average or random on the map. I don't know why, but I should go back past them again soon. Again, guys, I apologise for my crappy driving there. I was more focused on trying to test this BaitCar mod and get this guy pulled over rather than focusing on my normal abilities of executing a safe, but what's the word I'm looking for? Safe but pretty powerful pursuit. Do a lovely little U-turn. Not 100% sure what was happening with the mod at these points, but I was attempting to call in some backup, called in noose backup, nothing happened. unfortunately the pursuit does end in a little bit of disaster. Getting a bit of crappy driving or crappy handling of the vehicle there. Sideswipe the vehicle, I actually should have overtaken the vehicle on the other side of the car. Nearly hit the barrier. Next minute. So it actually looks like the driver disappeared at this point in time until I physically seen, if I go around the other side of the car, I actually seen some cash on the ground. So he had actually hit the other vehicle. There it is, just underneath the car. You'll see the green illumination of the cash. So I realised that he was actually dead at that point, so I moved the vehicle. But I believe that happened due to the impact on the vehicle on the other car that he happened to make contact with. He obviously flew out the front window, I suppose, and hit the other car and bounced back underneath. I'm not quite sure, but we attempted some CPR, and unfortunately it's unsuccessful. But at this point, guys, this is where I'll end this particular video. Again, any feedback that you can give me in terms of the mods, the skins, even where I might be able to find some Victorian emergency service mods, or vehicles I should say, the feedback would be greatly appreciated.
I need space here.
So until next time, guys,
I'll have you better in no time.
say hi to your mum for me. This is Accelerator, signing off. Thanks again.